at the beautiful Wakehurst place to test out the new Tamron Z mount 70 to 300 f4.5 to 6.3.
So here we are to test this, to check it out. This is the only budget option available in this range natively for Z mount. So let's have a look and decide if it's worth the money.
Good. Tell me some thoughts.
Well, autofocus is not bad. I mean, it's on Z6. Focus is about the same as 24-70 f4 Nikon native lens. It's similar to f-mount version of 70-300. So it's not going to be H2-400 lens. It's not going to be 70-200 lens in terms of AF speed, but they cost a lot more. But this is travel lens. It's small and light. It's something that you can pair up with 24-70 f4, and it still will feel fairly small and light in your bag. So when you're on a trip and you see an occasional bird, you can take a quick shot of it and it will do the job.
Nice.
What are you seeing, Becky?
I'm trying to see what the closest focusing distance is at each end. So it's 70. Oh, actually, I want to take a picture of whatever that is.
I mean, you can just Google it.
Yeah, but Googling it is one thing. Seeing it in real life is another.
I'm going to do voiceover on this one. I hope our viewers enjoying that. Sometimes I feel like people getting angry at me.
Why?
Just because the way I am, you know?
I like you just the way you are, don't worry.
Just like the way you are.
You know, one thing I've noticed is that the USB port for updating the firmware on the side of the lens is actually exposed to the elements. So although it's got this weather sealing inside, this is something that I think they should have put a cover on. It feels a bit too open.
Some nice rubber gasket just to seal it a little
just
bit.
to put over the top there. Because I'd be worried about getting rain in that, or even some condensation, and then not being able to update the firmware on my lens.
One of the interesting points of this lens is that it doesn't have vibration reduction, so which means your full-frame camera will have this. Now, if you're a DX user, then maybe 50-50 native Nikon lens is better because that one does have VR on it, and because your DX camera doesn't, this might be a bit shaky, so you need to use fast shutter speeds. So
I'm just looking at the rendering, both at 70 and at 300. And wide open, both at 70 and at 300, you do get some vignetting. At 70, the vignetting vanishes by f8. At 300, because the widest aperture is 6.3, it actually also disappears by about f8. So that's very, very interesting. So let's talk about this lens. We've been playing with it a little bit. You shot some pictures of Tilly with it. How did you find it?
Well, it's not good enough for Tilly because Tilly is a quick dog and she normally runs either from you or towards you.
Yeah.
So if that case happens, obviously the distance is changing all the time and really, really fast when she moves towards you. This combination, Z6 and 7300 lens, is just not good enough to cope with this. Now, if she's obviously running sideways, that's not an issue. For any static subjects or even a bit of flying birds, it's good enough. For obviously flying birds, you may have hit and miss, so more miss than hit, but at the price, it's really good because you pair it up with 24-70, small and light, travel photography, a bit of action, a bit of sports, a bit of wildlife. Now, obviously, you can get 70-200 2.8, you can get 80-400 lens as well, but those are a lot more expensive. So you're looking at the price entry first when considering this lens. But as I say, it's not going to win any awards. It's a very practical lens to have. It's going to do the job, and it's nice to have in your bag.
From the shots that we've taken today, I can clearly see that it performs very, very well at the closest focusing distance, as you would expect, at both ends of the lens. The depth of field is not as pleasing when the background is very close to your subject, but you can obviously play with your angles and your composition to kind of make up for that. It's not a 2.8 lens, we're not expecting 2.8 results from it. Saying that, you can use it for pretty much everything. It's a great pairing for the 24-70 f4 particularly, or if you're a Z5 owner and you bought the little 24-50 pancake lens, then this is a nice complement to that, and it gives you all that range that you're missing. A couple of things that I found interesting. The closest focusing distance does change at each end of the zoom, which is not dissimilar to a lot of Nikon zooms, although not the Nikon Z zooms, which tend to have a constant minimum focusing distance. This one is about 80 centimeters at the 70 end, and then about 1.5 meters at the 300mm end. So you can really use it for pretty much anything. You can get away with some close-up photography as well.
But the main question is really, can you shoot flowers with this lens?
Yeah, yes you can.
But you have spoken.
I have spoken. It weighs 580 grams, which is not too bad.
It's not too bad. It's a good combination. It balances nicely on the camera.
That's right. And in the UK, it costs £699.
If you'd like to have more videos like this, definitely let us know in the comments below.
Absolutely. While you're here, give us a like and a subscribe. And if you found this video super useful, there's a super thanks button as well.